Hey everyone, my name is Amarjeet Sohi. I'm running for mayor of Edmonton. I firmly believe that Edmonton should continue to provide quality public services that I benefited from when I came to this country as an immigrant. We also need to build an inclusive, welcoming place and tackle racism in our city and build an anti-racist community. Economic opportunities, ability for you to find a good, well-paying middle-class job, as well to set up your business and be successful. My slogan is Edmonton for all of us. And that's where I will focus and use my experience and expertise and knowledge as a federal minister, as a former city councillor and member of parliament to bring prosperity into our city. And I need your support. So please look at sohi.ca and I hope that I can count on your support.
Hi, I'm Kim Krushell, and I am running to be Edmonton's next mayor. Our next mayor is going to need to be able to hit the ground running, have a real understanding of how our city works, and appreciation for what it's like to be an entrepreneur and run a business. And I have that experience. I am running because I care about Edmonton and our collective future, and we need to have an inclusive city and inclusive mayor. I'm a collaborator. I bring a balanced and bold approach to our city, and I'm running because I care about Edmonton and our future. And I am asking that on October 18th, that you vote for something, not against something. A vote for me is a vote for Edmonton. Thank you.
You know, this is the first time in a generation that we don't know where our economic and our social successes are going to come from. And so we need somebody with some experience in business and some experience in government, and then some experience in how to help people. You know, I have a pretty interesting background, and there's a lot of people in our city that need a lot of help, and we have to make sure that everyone's treated equally, but we have to also get the economics right, or else we're not going to have the opportunity to pay for all these social challenges that we have in our city. And so I'm running because, you know, I think I'm the best person qualified to do all of these things and make sure that Edmonton is for everyone.
I'm running for mayor for three main reasons. The first reason is I owe a lot to this city. This city has done wonderful things for me. They helped me come to this country, and when I came, people helped me pay my university tuition. That is one reason. I'm paying back to the city for what it has done for me. The second reason, having been active since I came here for the past 40 years, I'm modeling the way so that I can share a vision for other people coming from Africa and racialized communities. I know once I have started, other people will have the courage and determination to do something, to be part of the decision-making table. So this is the second reason. Above all, I also want to run for mayor because I have been working hard to help other politicians succeed. I have campaigned for members of parliament, I have campaigned for MLAs, and I have campaigned for mayors in the past. So I also did my degree in political science. So I want to serve at a very high level where I can pay back this city of Edmonton and the people of Alberta. And I want to say something. Pour les gens qui parlent français, j'aimerais vraiment vous demander de coopérer avec moi et de voter pour moi. Je demande votre coopération, de me soutenir. Comme ça, nos enfants auront tous l'occasion de pouvoir faire mieux que nous les parents maintenant. Donc je demande votre soutien et votre support, de voter pour moi. Comme ça, nous aurons vraiment un commencement, un début qui est très grand. Merci beaucoup et je vous encourage d'aller voter demain, après-demain jusqu'au 13 et encore au 18 octobre. Il ne faut pas oublier. Encouragez vos familles, vos amis et tout le monde que vous connaissez. Merci beaucoup.
So my name is Diana Steele, and I am running for mayor of Edmonton to offer Edmontonians a different kind of leader. I am a believer in servant leadership, so under my leadership there would be no community left behind.
And really wanting the people's experience at the decision table at City Council. And so the other part for me is also how does a woman of color fit into a city council where we've never had ever a woman of color on council in the last 100 years when women have been involved? In this election, there's about 10 women of color running, and I really hope one of us gets in. We're all very strong candidates, and so really wanting to see representation happen in Edmonton. 40% of Edmontonians are people of color. And so it's important that this happens on a city council level. And the other piece that I would say is, as an outsider running for city council, it's very difficult to get in because of this. Sometimes politics, or many times politics, is an insider's game. And you probably have seen in Edmonton with all these endorsements that has been happening from city councilors endorsing candidates. Like in my ward, Métis, there are 4 women running and 3 of them have been endorsed, and me, the outsider, has not been endorsed. So that's a very powerful image of, one is endorsed by the NDP, the other one is endorsed by the UCP, and the third one is endorsed by the current mayor and city councilors. And me, as an outsider, have no endorsements. And so I really want to elevate the importance of the impact of outsiders like myself, who come to the table with a lot of experience, with a master's degree, and yet, the challenge of getting into the political insider circle is extremely difficult. And so really want to elevate some of the conversations around those aspects of running for city council as well.
I've always had a deep connection with public service. Growing up, my father came to Edmonton in the 1970s. I saw him struggle in adjusting to life in a new place. As I grew older, he always told us and taught my brother and I that it's not good enough to be a good individual. You have to be a good citizen. And being a good citizen meant you had to give back to society. And so understanding the privilege that I had, it's always been something that's drawn me to, volunteer and work hard in community. So I've been involved in a lot of different community organizations. And as part of that advocacy, you have to, liaise with policymakers and politicians. And when we do that, one of the big things we've actually heard from community is a frustration that, their voice wasn't being heard in the halls of power, that they did not see themselves being represented in City Hall. I sit on the City of Edmonton's Anti-Racism Advisory Committee. And, there was situations there where there's an acknowledgement by City Council that they don't really understand issues that pertain to a lot of minority communities. And you feel that frustration in people. And so, given that having a background in public service and being involved really drew me to put my name in the ring for Southeast Edmonton.
Honestly, I am running because what's really important to me, given that I have a 27-year-old son who is going to need inclusive opportunities his whole life, is that I want to see an inclusive and accessible Edmonton for everybody. I truly do. I understand some of the issues that go with that. My son is a cancer survivor. He's autistic. He's got type 1 diabetes. Edmonton for marginalized communities, and Edmonton for those with disabilities, and Edmonton for everybody is one of the most important things that I think that we need to focus on here.
I decided to run for public office because of my background, experience, qualifications, and ties to the community, to contribute in making Edmonton one of the best places to live, raise a family, invest, and retire, to create safer communities, a thriving economy, and build a city that is inclusive and affordable for everyone. After 14 years living in Oliver, I've decided to step up to now run and represent as the next councillor for the riding.